Imagine paying a quarter of your new home's cost before even breaking ground. That's the reality for many today thanks to hidden regulations. Is the American dream of home ownership slipping away? Well, not necessarily, and in this video, I'll break down the housing crisis, explore surprising solutions, and show you how to navigate this challenging market. We'll dive into how federal initiatives, local programs, and your own actions can make home ownership more attainable. But before that, I want to make one thing clear. This video is not political. My goal here is to share what's being done at the federal and local levels to address housing affordability and explore how these efforts might help home buyers and sellers moving forward. With that said, let's get into it. The housing market is on fire, but not necessarily in a good way. Prices are high and it's becoming increasingly difficult for many to buy a home. And the reason why is supply and demand. Simply put, there aren't enough homes to meet the demand, driving prices through the roof. A recent analysis reveals a startling fact. Regulations alone account for roughly 25% of the cost of building a new home. That means that before a single nail is hammered, a significant portion of the price tag goes towards permits, zoning laws, and other bureaucratic hurdles. This impacts everyone from buyers, renters, sellers, and even businesses. These higher construction costs trickle down, leading to increased rent prices for tenants, increased home prices for buyers, and increased home prices for sellers that will eventually turn into buyers. So what's the federal government trying to do about it? Earlier this week, President Trump signed an executive order directing federal agencies to explore ways to lower housing costs. His plan focuses on cutting regulatory costs and boosting housing supply. Now that sounds great in theory, but there's a catch. A lot of these regulations come from local governments, not the federal level. Experts like economists at Redfin say that the federal government's impact may be limited. However, one area where government can make a difference is in housing finance. For example, cutting fees for FHA loans or reducing mortgage insurance premiums could save buyers money. Groups like the Mortgage Bankers Association are already pushing for these kinds of changes, and they believe it could make a real impact for low to moderate income buyers. Now let's talk about Minnesota. Here in our state, there are some really cool initiatives aimed at helping home buyers and addressing housing supply challenges. For example, the Minnesota Housing Finance Agency offers programs like Startup for first-time home buyers. These programs provide down payment assistance and affordable loan options, which can make buying a home a little less daunting. And on the supply side, cities across Minnesota are starting to review zoning laws to encourage more affordable housing development. In some cases, they're even offering incentives for builders to create multifamily housing or to renovate existing properties. And let's not forget about the programs that support sellers, like the Minnesota Home Ownership Center's resources, which help people navigate the selling process efficiently. While these efforts might not solve the entire problem, they're important steps in the right direction, and they're making a tangible difference for people right here in Minnesota. And this brings us to an important point. Most of the changes that could really move the needle for affordability have to happen at the local level. Let's take a look at New Hampshire, for example. They've introduced programs that actually pay cities $10,000 per unit for quickly approving multifamily housing permits. That's a creative way to cut through red tape and encourage development. Another example is their Housing Opportunity Program, which helps communities evaluate whether they're ready for new development. They look at things like, are their sewer systems up for the task, and do they need to upgrade their infrastructure? This kind of proactive planning can make a big difference. It's something more states, including Minnesota, could look at as a model. Okay, so what happens next? Well, it's clear that solving the housing affordability crisis will take a combination of federal, state, and local efforts. At the federal level, cutting fees and simplifying housing finance could help buyers. And at the state and local levels, programs to encourage development and rethink zoning laws are a crucial step. For those of us that are looking to buy or sell a home, it's important to stay informed. Use the resources that are available to you, like down payment assistance programs in Minnesota, and work with professionals who know the market. And if you're selling, understanding what buyers are looking for and pricing your home competitively can help it sell faster. And finally, keep advocating for change in your community, whether it's attending city council meetings or supporting organizations working on housing issues. Every little bit helps. So can we really solve the housing affordability crisis? Well, it won't be easy, but with the right mix of creativity, collaboration, and action, we can make a difference. And the good news is that progress is already happening, from federal initiatives to local programs here in Minnesota. And there you have it. There's my 2 cents on the housing affordability crisis that we're currently experiencing right now. If you found this video helpful, could you do me a favor and like this video? That helps the YouTube algorithm push it out to more people. And if you want to see more real estate content just like this, be sure to get subscribed to the channel. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see another video just like this, click this video right here. This is the video that YouTube thinks that you'll like the most.